Hi guys, as requested by some of you, I'm gonna be reviewing a video called School is a Prison and It Works.
When I was a kid, I hated school with a passion that adults found concerning. They'd say things like, "These are the best years of your life," or
Teachers would maybe say that because they work in the school themselves, they are in denial because they have to go there every day.
"You'll miss it when you're older." Spoiler alert, I don't miss it at
How could you possibly miss it? I've never heard of anybody who has said that they miss school.
all. I think what they really meant was, it only gets worse from here. And you know what? I wasn't wrong to hate it. School wasn't education, it was domestication. A decade long.
Right, exactly. Alright. She seems to get it, we'll see what she will say. Yes, you become domesticated in school in the sense that you learn how to follow the rules of the figures of authority and adapt to the system. Not that you can really naturally, but you do what you can. Yeah, that's what it's about, of course. There's nothing else to it.
Long training program in obedience. Looking back now,
Right, obedience. You don't think for yourself. Whenever you want to think, you're told not to and to shut up. That's it. Whenever you question a teacher or anything that you're being taught, you're told not to think. Yeah, exactly.
I can see exactly what they were doing. And it's way more fucked up than just boring math classes. School is literally training in slavery, and I mean literally. From age 6 or 7, you're taught that your body doesn't belong to you. You can't stand when you want to stand. You can't sit.
Yeah, exactly. That's absolutely insane. We go to this building and we are told by other humans who act as if they are teachers and whatnot to sit down. In Latvia, we we didn't, of course, but we believed that we had to. Huge difference, obviously, almost the opposites, really. We believed that we should sit down when the teacher tells us that we are allowed to. We stand up when the teacher comes in and then we sit down. That's how it was in Latvia. I know that it's not like that in other countries, but in Eastern Europe, I think it was like that everywhere.
Sit how you want to sit. You can't go to the bathroom with.
Yeah, and who on earth wants to sit all day? Especially a child, a young adult. Yeah, you want to sit sometimes, but not all day. And not at a desk, not on some super uncomfortable chair. You don't want to read and listen to other people and just be still and get brainwashed. It's just the opposite of human nature.
Without permission. You can't eat when you're hungry, only when the bell
Yeah, also. Yeah, very good point. All right, I like it so far. Good video.
says you can. Think about what this does to a developing brain. During the most formative years of your life, when you're learning what normal means, normal becomes, "I don't own myself."
Very good point. Yeah, that's exactly when we learn everything. Not only languages and some behavior, it's just everything. It shapes you for your whole life.
My most basic biological needs require someone else's approval. You're being
And that's super fucked up. That's absolute slavery. Damn.
wired at the deepest level to accept that autonomy is bad, obedience is good, and your desires don't matter. And it works. By the time you're an adult, you don't even question it. Your boss treats you like property, normal. Your time isn't yours.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's to make you prepared for your slave life. Yeah.
Normal. You need permission for everything. Normal. You've been trained since childhood that this is just how life is. If
Yeah, and this is why I explained this in a Telegram video. They wouldn't be able to get to us, the system, if we would grow up wild, because later on, when you're past puberty and you grew up wild, you cannot domesticate such a human being anymore. I don't know how you could. Maybe there's a possibility, I suppose, but it would be insanely hard. I also explained this in a separate, another Telegram video, but what happens is that when you're a child, you absorb everything like a sponge because you're supposed to learn how to survive and hunt. So it's great that we have this capability that we can do that. But the problem is that it's being used against us. So now we learn, as she said, how to sit down, how to listen, and how to ask when you are allowed to go to the toilet, to eat, to even speak, to speak, to speak. You can't even speak and make sounds when you want to, and that's normal? How is that normal? It's so abnormal. It's so insane that we can't even make sounds. Teacher, can I go to the bath? Shut up! You are learning about history right now. But how do we know that what you're telling us is true if the history is written by the victors? What? You're gonna question the teacher? Go to the school director or whatever. Yeah, for questioning, for thinking. Can we know what you tell us in history? I actually told my history teacher. I remember, I think I was making weird sounds or face expressions, basically expressing how bored I am, because I hated history probably more than anything else. Math was also just dumb, but that's different. History, you really just learn completely meaningless, stupid stuff that you will never need, which is all probably fake anyway. And she asked me, are you bored? And I just said, yes, really loud in the class. And everybody looked at me, oh, that human being just said what he wanted to. You're not allowed to.
a child exists somewhere
Think about it. You're seen as strange for expressing your real thoughts. That's how insane people are.
other than school during school hours, it's literally a crime. They've criminalized children's freedom.
Yeah, yeah. And in some countries, the police actually come and pick you up and bring you back to prison because you're not allowed to leave. So what else is that? Yeah, it's a prison by definition.
They've made slavery compulsory and called it education. School operates
Yeah, you just get manipulated and brainwashed for the most part. And you can argue that some classes are okay, such as art class, we had that. You kind of could do what you wanted to do, kind of, not really, naturally speaking, but in slavery, in captivity, you just draw. But then again, she told us what to draw. But still, that was the only class that was okay. Yeah.
It's exactly like a minimum security prison. You're legally required to be there. If you don't show up, they...
Well, it's a minimum security prison because we are enslaved by these invisible chains. We simply believe that we need to be there.
come after you. They call it truancy, but it's forced confinement, based solely on your age. Everything runs on bells. Bell rings, you move. Bell rings, you stop. Bell rings, you eat. You're being trained to respond to signals like Pavlov's dogs. Except instead of salivating, you're learning to surrender your autonomy to arbitrary sounds. You need permission.
Yeah, and it's even worse because when you go and eat, you get, at least in Latvia, that's how it used to be, bread. A lot of bread, just really dry. And bread is unappetizing as it is, but that was just the worst thing on earth. Just really dry, hard bread. Oh my god, man. Severe malnutrition, just oh my god. Just thinking back at it. And some kind of potato soup. Just the worst for the lowest bottom slaves. Ah, fuck.
To perform basic bodily functions, like raising your hand and asking another human being if you can go pee. What kind of dignity-stripping bullshit is that? They do this to children for years and then wonder why adults struggle with self-advocacy. The architecture itself screams institution. Long hallways, fluorescent lights, rooms with one door.
Yeah, and I always looked out of the window and saw the sun. You couldn't see it that often in Latvia. No, it was okay. It wasn't that bad before the crazy geoengineering, actually. Yeah, even in winter you had some sun. It was so beautiful. I always dreamt of being outside. Oh my god. I was completely imprisoned, man. This is so bad.
Door that you can't leave without permission, windows you can't open. But sure, tell me again how this is a place of learning. Interesting how school rewires your understanding of happiness. Remember how you felt on the last day before summer break? That explosion of joy, that feeling like you could finally breathe again. That wasn't happiness. That was relief from captivity. Real happiness isn't the absence of something awful. But school teaches you that's exactly what it is. Happiness is when the bell rings. Happiness is Saturday afternoon. Happiness is summer vacation.
Very well said. You should always be free, living naturally in freedom. Nature is freedom.
3 months in my country, which sounds
In my also. Where is she from? Kind of like a Russian accent.
generous until you realize it's the minimum time needed to partially recover from 9 months of institutionalization. This is why adults leave for weekends. Why they
Oh man, always. Oh, it was so bad. It was the middle of August. Oh man, that's also so interesting because I'm still traumatized by it. Okay, maybe not today, but I was for many years after, decades after. Yeah, because always when it was the middle of August, I thought, oh no. Okay, it also has to do with the weather. I don't really like. Actually, I don't like winter whatsoever, not even autumn, but whatever. Autumn at the very beginning is pretty beautiful, but not after September, really. October is kind of okayish still, but November is horrible. Anyway, not my point. My point is that in the middle of August, I always thought September is coming, even years after I wasn't in school anymore. Yeah, because just the idea of September was so bad to me for all of these years of going to school. No matter how good your experience in school is, you're still in captivity, even if you're the most popular kid in school. It's better, but it's still horrible.
count days until vacation. Why retirement is seen as the ultimate goal. School programmed us to see happiness as the gaps between obligations rather than something that should be woven into daily existence. They tell you school is about education, but let's look at what you actually learn. Sit still for hours. Speak only when permitted. Your thoughts, your questions, your ideas, they're interruptions unless they fit into the approved discussion window. Complete meaningless tasks without questioning their purpose. Write essays about books you don't care.
And the thing is that, at least in Latvia, you're also afraid of questioning them because we had a teacher, for example, the Latvian teacher, as you would say, who taught literature and that kind of stuff. She talked about Latvian books and whatever. I remember once, for example, she gave somebody probably a 2 or a 3, which is one of the lowest you can give in Latvia. 10 is the highest, 1 is the lowest. A really low grade, and then she threw not the book, I don't know what you call it. It's thinner than a book, and she threw it at him in his face. He was next to me. Of course you're afraid to say anything then, man. Everybody was afraid of that stupid fucking bitch. Yeah, ugly bitch, man. She was so unhealthy also. All of the teachers, now not all, but most of them were really horrible to the children.
About. Solve math problems that have no connection
Actually, we had 1 or 2 good teachers, yeah. You could tell that they were also just generally happy with their lives. Yeah.
to anything real. Memorize dates of battles in wars that mean nothing to you. In my case, geography lessons
I don't remember anything I learned the history lessons. Nothing.
Lessons were particularly frustrating. Why the fuck learn about other countries when you live behind the Iron Curtain and, as we thought back then, you will never get a chance to see any of them? And never ever ask, why are we doing this? You also learn to accept arbitrary authority. The teacher is in charge because she's the adult. Period. Doesn't matter if she's wrong, cruel, incompetent, or teaching you outdated nonsense. She has the grade book, so she has the power. You learn to compete against your peers for approval. Grades create artificial scarcity of success. Your classmates aren't collaborators.
Yeah, in some of the classes, I, on purpose, didn't do anything. I didn't do any homework, but I tried to get a 4 so that it's enough to get to the next grade. I did the bare minimum on purpose. I even calculated it so that it comes out as a 4. And then whenever I could, I just left out the homework and did the test super quickly.
And everyone knows exactly where everyone stands in the pecking order. Actually, grades are the most brilliant control mechanism ever invented. In my school, your grade wasn't just recorded, it was announced out loud to the entire class. Immediate public ranking of human worth.
Totally. Yeah, I still remember how people thought that I'm bad at math because I just didn't care about it. I could have done it if I tried. But then we had the last exam, the biggest one out of all, and I got a pretty good grade. It was said out loud and everybody was looking, huh? He can do math after all? Yeah, because I didn't give a fuck about it ever. I just did it for the exam at the end. That's it. That's how I try to do it with everything.
I still have a strangely vivid memory like it was yesterday. I was walking home after school, and one of the top students in our class was walking right in front of me. I kept staring at the soles of her shoes, thinking, there goes a normal person, and I'm not even worth the dirt on her heels. We had to carry grade books home for parents to sign, a permanent...
Oh, okay. This reminds me, we had to take the backpacks to school every day, when you would go to school, obviously, 5 times a week, and it was full of crazy heavy books. Insane. Little 7-8-year-old children walking around with kilograms on their backs every day, in winter, everything. Wow, total insane torture and suffering.
Record of daily performance.
I know that in other countries it's different, I think. You don't have to do it yourself, or maybe your parents bring you to school. You gotta understand, in Latvia, as I have said before, maybe 5% of the parents had a car, so all the kids simply walked to school.
That followed you everywhere. Parents losing their shit over anything less than perfect marks, because grades had become the only measure of a child's value. Grades don't measure intelligence, creativity, wisdom, kindness, innovation, or any actually valuable human quality. They measure compliance. How well did you follow instructions? How accurately did you repeat what you were told? How thoroughly did you suppress your own thoughts to regurgitate the approved...
Suppress your own thoughts, yeah. Oh. Very well said, very good video.
answer. The skills that matter in actual life, critical thinking, creativity, emotional intelligence, problem solving, aren't just unmeasured by grades. They're actively punished if they lead you to question the assignment. You can guess what kind of grades I had. School isn't just about individual conditioning. It's about creating social hierarchies and teaching you to accept them. The popular kids, the nerds, the jerks,
The only subject that I didn't like it, but it was bearable. In comparison, you could say that I liked it, was geography. I don't know why. We had the stupid globe, always, of course, in front of us. That was the only subject that was kind of bearable, besides, like I said, art classes. It wasn't that super boring. I guess that everybody has some kind of interest for whatever reason.
Jokes. We had a lot of jerks. I definitely was a separate category. The jocks, the outcasts, these aren't natural categories. They're manufactured social structures that teach you early. Some people matter more.
Yeah, true, except that they are really, when you look at it based on natural selection, whatever you want to call it, it's based usually on the looks of the children. That's really what actually defines those groups that they join. So it kind of has to do with nature. But yeah, the terms themselves and the groups are all completely man-made, obviously.
more than others. Some people deserve contempt. Your value is determined by arbitrary social markers. At the age of 5, children can play for hours, turning a cardboard box into a spaceship and a stick into a magic wand. They ask why about everything. They are natural scientists, artists, philosophers.
Natural scientists, I like how she said that. That's true. Yeah, true science is based on facts, on our senses.
Then school happens. There's only one right answer. Stay inside the lines. Don't ask questions we're not covering. We don't have time for that. That won't be on a test. Stop daydreaming. Pay attention. Don't draw during math class. That's
Oh my god, I always drew during any kind of class. Physics especially. That was the most stupid subject out of all, because you're just learning about religious beliefs constantly, completely anti-science. Almost nothing can be proven. You're just learning about beliefs. It's so dumb. No wonder that never appealed to me. Later I understood what it's really about. Back then I didn't, but it just never appealed to me whatsoever. It was so insanely boring. I could almost die just sitting there listening to the teacher. Huh. Yeah, I was just constantly drawing a cartoon on every page, and then you skip through the pages, and then you have a drawing, a cartoon.
last one was my personal disaster. I was always drawing pictures in my school notebooks during lessons, and I was constantly shamed and laughed at for it, both by teachers and students. By high school, most kids have learned the lesson. Creativity is punished, conformity is rewarded. Your weird idea
Exactly, and that's how the slave adults are today. They conform to what is seen as normal, the figures of authority. It starts with teachers, but it ends with everybody in a uniform. It's to make you believe that they are above you. It's just human beings wearing different clothes. Zero difference. Same as you.
as your different perspective, your unique way of seeing the world, these are problems to be corrected, not gifts to be nurtured. They take naturally curious creative beings and turn them into anxious approval-seeking robots. Then they wonder.
Her wording is very good. Yeah.
Most adults can't remember 90% of what they learned in school because they didn't actually learn it. They temporarily memorized it for a test, then deleted it to make room for the next round of
Yeah, because you know that it's useless, worthless.
meaningless information. The kid
Yeah, I remember having to, that's kind of what you think, as I said, memorize this poem. Yeah, oh my god. And then I did it over and over again. And then I went in front of the class and I said it the way you're supposed to, word by word. And I was given a 10 by the teacher. Oh, wow. And that was torture. I don't remember one word from it. You messed up my brain, at least temporarily with that. Who needs that?
If you hated school, you weren't wrong. Your hatred wasn't a character flaw or a phase of immaturity. It was your spirit recognizing captivity. It
Yeah, exactly. Captivity. Right on.
was your soul rejecting domestication. It was the last free part of you saying, this is not okay. And if you're an adult,
Yeah, but then of course you have fear all around you from the other people, the kids, and of course you feel a lot of fear because of the adults. You know that you will be punished in some way. Maybe back in the day it used to be worse, that's true, but you still get abused there, just in different ways. Are they better. Abuse is abuse anyway.
Still carrying that feeling that school was somehow wrong, that those weren't actually the best years, that something valuable was taken from you, you're not crazy. Something valuable was taken from you. Your time, your creativity, your autonomy, your natural love of learning. Even music schools suck.
Yeah, because learning is actually great, especially as a child, because you would be learning how to hunt, especially as a guy, how to survive, everything about nature. It would be great. Learning as such is awesome. Nowadays, we associate learning with pain and suffering. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Of all the kids I studied with, most never touched their instrument again after the final exam. The question isn't why some kids hate school. The question is why we force all kids into an institution that makes so many of them miserable, anxious, and convinced they're failures. Actually, wait, I know why. Because miserable, anxious people who think they're failures make excellent employees. They work hard for approval they'll never quite get. They're grateful for whatever they're given. They don't question the system because they've been taught the problem is always them, never the structure. School isn't broken. It's working exactly as designed. And then you grow up and hope that some meditation will set you free.
I wonder what she meant at the end. Some meditation will set you free. Is she against meditation? Maybe, I hope so. She seems to understand kind of what's going on. I don't know who this is. I've never seen her channel or any of her videos. Some people simply wanted me to review this video. Maybe she has some more good stuff to say. It seems like it's possible. Yeah, of course, meditation isn't gonna do anything. But that goes back to the same problem. In school, you were taught that you're only allowed to do what the system allows you to do. Therefore, because meditation is allowed, it's seen as an option. It's seen as something that may help you. But what you're naturally supposed to do, that's seen as wrong and a sin anyway, because of religions. And whether you call yourself religious or not, you have religious values which are programmed inside of you, but not really deep inside of you, because really deep inside of you there's your nature, but it's holding it in on top. And this is why you will never, of course, do what you actually naturally want to do. That would set you free, that would make you happy, that would make you healthy, and everything would be good. But in school you learned that it's all wrong. And also through the media, everything that's trying to control your life. That's the whole problem. You learned it in school and you go on living like this. Yeah. She explained it very well. The way she worded it. It's a good video. People who watch it will understand something at least. Maybe they will question something. How could you not start thinking that those years were at least useless, if not harmful, which they were, but at the very least useless, worthless. Just sitting there, standing up, sitting down. As I said, maybe it's not like that in other countries. For us it was like that. And then just listening and writing down. Oh, you wrote down wrong man-made symbols. You get a 1. Okay, a 1 would be very rare. You get a 3 or a 4. As I said, those are the lowest grades in Latvia. Or if you listen to the teacher perfectly, listen to what the books tell you, read them, and you write down the correct symbols or tick the right boxes. Usually it was more so about writing down symbols for us. We didn't have typical tests where you check boxes. That came way later. That was something more modern. Then you get a 10, of course, if you do listen to the... That's it. You just blindly believe what they say, and that's correct. And this impacts your whole life, because later in your life you will believe that these are intelligent people. Look at how intelligent people are portrayed nowadays. Just actually look at how they look like. It's very crazy when you will look at it. Because usually the well-developed people, oftentimes they don't care about school because they kind of understand that they will never need it anyway because their path is already set. They will be more so portrayed as some dumb people who just don't care about school, as if caring about school makes you intelligent, right? That's what they want you to believe. But then the other kind of people, just look at them. Google intelligent human and you will see how they are portrayed, or the most intelligent ones. They always show in the shows, in books, everything. It's very clear what they want us to believe, how intelligent people look like, and how, from their perspective, all the failures look like, the ones who failed school or didn't care about it. Yeah. And then because of this, when you're in your 20s, 30s, for the rest of your life, you will believe that people who wants to be a millionaire, for example, people who literally just memorize everything blindly, and people who watch TV shows and know characters from a movie, or who know the titles of books or the authors, that those are intelligent people. The opposite of intelligent people. People who don't think for themselves. Those are intelligent people. That's what they want us to believe. And they always portray people who blindly listen to others, who just absorb information, as intelligent people. The opposite. Come on, everything is the opposite. You think that that's an exception? When we talk about intelligent people? Come on, man, if anything, what would be the opposite? What would they lie about? Not necessarily the most, but what would be one of the top 5 lies? They would make you believe that dumb people are intelligent. Come on, fucking wake up. Thanks for watching.